Ibiza, you've seen it. Super club videos, world record DJ lineups, that one shot of the crowd with lasers going off over the Mediterranean. It looks like the planet's greatest party, and honestly, it kind of is. But here's what you didn't notice. The clubs are physically concentrated in a small coastal zone, Playa d'Embosa or San Antonio, depending on your flavor. But most budget accommodation sits 20 to 40 minutes away from those zones, and at 6 a.m. there is no late-night bus coming to save you. So you're looking at a taxi that runs on flat-rate pricing that is very much not designed with your feelings in mind. And that's before we talk about the fact that cover charges often run 40 euros to 80 euros, and drinks inside can hit 15 euros to 20 euros each. In human terms, that means one night out in Ibiza can easily cost more than 3 nights of accommodation. And here's the twist that actually reframes the whole thing. Ibiza isn't overrated for being expensive, it's overrated because people show up expecting a spontaneous summer adventure. And what they actually walked into is one of the most meticulously priced tourist economies on Earth. Every single cost is calibrated for someone who booked 4 nights and is emotionally committed to having the time of their life and the authentic Ibiza vibe that locals used to talk about. That basically migrated to other islands years ago. So if you go in eyes open and budget accordingly, Ibiza is honest. It's the pretending it's casual part that gets you. But at least Ibiza knows what it is. The next one pretends to be something it's not. Bangkok. The pitch is Khao San Road. Chaos, rooftop bars glowing over the skyline, the wildest city that never sleeps. And sure, you've seen those videos, but here's what you missed. Khao San Road is essentially a tourist theme park that actual Bangkok nightlife people genuinely avoid. The real scene is spread across RCA, Thonglor, Selam, neighborhoods that are nowhere near each other and nowhere near where you're staying, and the BTS, Bangkok's SkyTrain, shuts down around midnight, so picture this. It's 2 a.m., you're somewhere in the actual good part of Bangkok, and now you need a taxi, and the taxi driver outside the club looks at his meter, looks at you, and decides tonight is a flat rate night, typically running 2 times to 3 times what the meter would say. And the tourist-facing bars around the main drags have their own quiet price inflation that doesn't show up in the TikToks. The twist here is actually the opposite of what you'd expect. Bangkok nightlife is genuinely excellent, one of the best in the world if you know where to go. But the logistics of getting there and back at 3 a.m. safely cost more than the drinks, which means the city isn't overrated. The way people navigate it is, at least Bangkok has a real scene underneath the tourist layer, the next city. The tourist layer is the scene. Prague. Budget beer capital, Gothic Old Town, Europe's legendary cheap party destination, except the cheap reputation is roughly a decade stale, because prices in Old Town bars now rival plenty of Western European cities, and the locals who actually live there drink in neighborhoods tourists never find. And what you get instead in the center is Wenceslas Square clubs with aggressive touts at the door, organized bar crawls that seem like a deal until you read what they actually include, and a stag party density on weekends that turns the entire historic core into something closer to a very old theme park than a city with a nightlife. The genuine cheap and actually good spots exist, but they're a 20 to 30 minute tram ride away, and here's the twist. Prague isn't overrated because it got bad, it's overrated because it got famous. The reputation outlived the reality by about 10 years, and now millions of people show up expecting the city that existed in 2012. Prague got famous and raised its prices. The next city got famous and lost its soul. Cancun, hotel zone, foam parties, spring break energy that looks unhinged in the best way on video. But here's the hidden lever almost nobody mentions out loud. The hotel zone is a 20-kilometer artificial strip that is physically and functionally separated from the actual Mexican city of Cancun. There is no real transit connecting the strip to downtown, which means you are not in a city at all, you are in a resort compound that has been branded as a party destination, and inside that compound the economics work accordingly. Club entry fees combined with drink minimums can easily land at $100 or more, and those free wristband deals being handed out on the strip often come attached to a timeshare presentation you didn't know you agreed to. The twist is clean. Cancun isn't overrated as a resort. It's overrated specifically as a party city because calling it a city is already the first lie. Cancun is at least warm. The next one built its entire identity around cold, dark, and miserable, and somehow that's also not fully what it seems. Reykjavik. The pitch is the world's most genuinely fun night scene. Northern lights in the background, midnight sun parties that go until it's technically daytime, which all sounds incredible. And here's the thing, the famous Friday and Saturday runter tradition, the bar crawl culture, is real, but the entire downtown nightlife strip is walkable in about 10 minutes, and drinks routinely run somewhere in the range of $18 to $25 each because Iceland is Iceland. In human terms, that means a round for two people is a minor financial event, and the city itself is around 130,000 people. So the energy on a big night feels more like a lively college town than a capital's nightlife scene. The clubs do go until 4 or 5 a.m., which sounds amazing until you price out the math on getting there. The twist is that Reykjavik's nightlife is actually charming and worth doing once. It's just that the viral hidden gem narrative inflated expectations so far past the reality that people show up expecting Ibiza with snow and find a very expensive, very cute small city doing its best. Reykjavik is tiny and pricey. The next one is massive and supposedly free, which is, as you've probably guessed by now, also a trap. Berlin. You know the mythology. Berghain. 48-hour sets. No closing time. The holy grail of global techno. And here's what nobody puts in the video. The door rejection rate at Berghain for tourists is notoriously high, and the clubs that do let everyone in are emphatically not what the mythology is built around. The Free Berlin era that everyone references wrapped up around 2015 as gentrification closed venue after venue. Actual techno locals maintain a level of gatekeeping that is almost a cultural institution at this point, and the strict no-phone rules inside the legitimate clubs add a layer of friction that first-timers genuinely don't anticipate. The twist is almost poetic. Berlin has the most powerful nightlife reputation on Earth and simultaneously the most effective infrastructure for making sure most tourists never actually experience the thing the reputation is about. Berlin keeps tourists out on purpose. The next city lets everyone in, and that is exactly the problem. Las Vegas, strip clubs, pool parties, 24/7, everything. No rules energy. The city that literally cannot close, and the hidden lever here is about as hidden as a neon sign, because Vegas is the single most optimized nightlife extraction machine ever built. Every layout decision, every complimentary drink, every no cover before midnight offer is a calculated variable inside a casino profit model that has been refined for decades. Table minimums at the big clubs typically start around $500 and go up from there depending on the night. Uber surge pricing at 2 a.m. from the strip is its own special experience. The free drinks on the casino floor come with the implied contract that you are actively losing money at a nearby machine. Pool party day passes often run $100 or more, and that doesn't include a single drink. The twist is that Vegas nightlife isn't actually overrated. It's accurately rated once you understand you are buying a highly produced show, not going out, which is fine as long as you know that's what you bought. Vegas is honest capitalism. The last city on this list sells itself as the opposite. Authentic, underground, affordable, and pulls off the biggest con of the whole video. Bali, specifically Seminyak and Kuta, beach clubs, sunset cocktails, that spiritual meets party aesthetic, affordable luxury, is basically the brand. You've seen 1,000 versions of that golden hour Aperol content, but here's the lever. Bali's entire party scene is concentrated in 2 or 3 coastal villages that are now priced in line with mid-tier European resort towns. The affordable part is only true relative to flying business class to Mykonos, and even then it's close. Beach Club Day passes typically run $30 to $80 before a single drink. Transport between Kuta, Seminyak, and Canggu at night is tuk-tuk only with zero price regulation, so every ride is a negotiation you will lose at least half the time. And because Indonesia taxes alcohol heavily, Spirits are not the cheap local product that the budget paradise reputation implies. The twist is the cleanest one on this whole list. Bali is genuinely one of the most beautiful places on earth, and nightlife is legitimately the worst reason to go there, yet somehow it became the central marketing hook. And here's the thing that ties all 8 of these cities together. Every single one has a real nightlife scene buried somewhere underneath the marketed version. And the overrated layer is always the one that went viral before most people could afford to go there. Prague works if you get on a tram and leave the old town. Bangkok works if you factor in transport as part of your night budget. And Berlin works if you do the research before you queue. Drop the city you think belongs on this list that I didn't include. I already know what you're going to say, and you're probably right. Subscribe for more city breakdowns.